Before we get started with this episode of the podcast, we'd like to direct you to the We Are Southampton page on Instagram. For matchday edits, polls, competitions, and more, be sure to check out the We Are Southampton page on Instagram. Matt, who runs the page, has been a huge help to the show. He's done the logo. He's been a guest. Couldn't do the show without him. I'm very thankful for him. And on that note, it is Thanksgiving. It's time to be thankful. And I hope you realize how thankful I am for you listening and providing feedback. With that being said, let's get started with this week's show.
Lovely ball for Pella. Onside. 1-0.
Подача. Остин. Все-таки забил.
Fonte with a scooping header. It's 2-0.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Southampton Delivery Podcast, a podcast dedicated to the Southampton Football Club and all of the SFC fans. My name is Matt Markson, and I'm the host of the show, and I'd like to thank you for joining us. This week we are talking with Millie Peak, the goalkeeper for the Southampton Women's Football Club. Part of the reason is because we like to focus every once in a while on the women's team to bring forth some women's football, something that doesn't get as much coverage. She's also a Saints fan, so we do ask her some Saints questions, but for the most part we focus on her career, their season, things like that, and just about being a goalkeeper in general. So not necessarily a normal episode. So if you're looking for full-on Saints coverage, we'll be back with that next week when I speak with Jamie Grant from the Saints Report. But for this week, we talked with Millie Peak, like I said, and this week has been kind of a crazy week. It's I don't think people in the UK celebrate Thanksgiving the way we do here in the States. And this is actually, one of my favorite holidays, and it's just a chance to get together with family and friends and the people that you kind of really love and care about, and be thankful for that time. And, it's not as commercialized as some of the other holidays, so it is actually my favorite holiday. And so this week I am spending time with friends over the weekend, and now with my family down in Disneyland. So if this sounds different, if you are a return listener and this sounds different, it's because I'm sitting actually in my car, recording this right now. So, and this will be short and sweet, and then I am going to go back to bed because it is, quite late. We just got home from Disneyland and we're going back in the morning. Not home. We got back to the hotel. So, I'm not going to stay here very long, but, like always, I'd like to thank you for joining us. And, I hope you enjoy the show. Hope you enjoy my conversation with Millie. She was fantastic to talk to. And you can find Millie on Twitter at PeakMillie1. And we'd like to thank her sponsor. I don't know how to pronounce it. Dosan Convenience, maybe? Dosanjh Convenience, for sponsoring her this season. Each member of the Southampton Women's Football Club needs a sponsor to help cover the cost of training and travel and things like that. So we'd like to thank them for doing that. And if you are at all interested in sponsoring someone or helping with some advertising, you can contact the club. All of the links to those things are in the show notes. So, anyway, so let's go ahead and get to the interview with Millie. I hope you enjoy it. We'd like to welcome to the Southampton Delivery Podcast, a podcast dedicated to the Southampton Football Club and all the SFC fans. And this week, the Southampton Women's Football Club. Millie Peak, the goalkeeper for the Southampton Women's Football Club. Millie, thank you for taking some time out of your evening to talk with me about your season and about you. And welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So kind of just what we want to do is we want to get to know you a little bit, and then we'll talk about kind of how things on the pitch are going this year. And then we'll throw in some listener questions at the end. And I think it'll be hopefully a good, well-rounded kind of view of what's going on.
Yeah, that's fine.
I have to ask you, are you a Southampton fan?
Of course I am.
Of course you are. Are you from Southampton originally? Did you grow up there?
Yeah, I've lived there all my life.
Did you have a favorite footballer growing up?
I wasn't really obviously I started football at 6, so I wasn't really, more played it than watched it, if you understand.
Yeah.
But, at one point, I was proper involved with Joe Hart, I just wanted to be like him.
Okay.
But, I don't know, that was probably my only person like Joe Hart. As a kid, you go through, Ronaldo, Messi, but no, Joe Hart was probably my aim.
Okay. See, my son is very much a Messi fan. Not a Ronaldo fan.
Yeah.
My daughter just cheers for the red team constantly, which is great. So I guess the next question is, have you always wanted to be a goalkeeper, or were you always a goalkeeper kind of growing up, or did you play other positions and things like that?
Well, when I was younger, my dad started a team, so I was just joined in. I watched my brother play, so I was like, I'm going to join in. And I actually went into a team. I was going to go play out on pitch, but they needed a keeper. Me, used to play with boys. So I was like, I'll go and goal. Even though all the boys were too scared to, I was like, I'll go and goal. So I've been in goal since the age of 6, really. Obviously, I was at another team, Saints, girls.
Okay.
And I broke my finger. They tried me out on pitch, and I played good there. So I was playing out on pitch for a season. Came to Southampton Women's. I played out on pitch, played in defence, midfield. I played everywhere, really. Towards the end of last season and this season, I've just been in goal, and now I'm in the first team. So I played out on pitch for a bit, and then been in goal for the rest of my life, really.
All right. Now, I'd
like to stay there as well.
Yeah. Okay. That was the next question. Is do you prefer to be in goal?
Yeah, I do like it in goal, but it's just a hard situation because 99% out of 100, if you make a mistake, it's going in. So last season, I went through a lot because of I wasn't playing as well as I could. My confidence dropped down. It was all on top of me all at once, and I didn't want to play anymore. But then obviously my dad pushed me to play, and I think if it weren't for him, I wouldn't be playing now. So I do respect him for pushing me to play. But no, it's hard being a goalie, but I would like to say that I do like that position.
Yeah, and I don't have an all-encompassing view or understanding of what goalkeeping is, but I know my son likes to play keeper, and so we kind of work with him. And I think in the United States, that's one of the positions that we've been kind of most successful at producing. We haven't really put a ton of players in top leagues around the world. We're starting, maybe, we have a few teenagers kind of doing it now, but other than, Tim Howard, Brad Guzan,
Hope Solo,
those are kind of the standout athletes almost for us in the soccer world. Brad Friedel and Casey Keller as well, who I believe played for Southampton even. So I guess I think there's something special or different that you have to kind of do to play goalkeeper mentally. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But before we get there, I wanted to ask you kind of what do you do when you're not playing football?
I work all through the day, work at the co-op. It works around my football, so it's not too bad. If I'm not working, probably just go out and meet some friends. So I'm quite a social person. Okay. So it's either football, social, or work. Really, it's nothing major.
And that seems fair enough. I'm more of do this or work. This is about as much social interaction as I get, unless I'm, yelling at somebody on the football field. So, and how long have you been at Southampton Women's Football Club?
I think it's been 2.5 seasons because I came to Southampton. They did a 6-day approach or 7-day approach thing. Because obviously I left the other Saints. I didn't enjoy it there, so I came and watched training. I can't remember what it was. I think it was 2015, halfway through the season. Okay. I joined there, and obviously they put me in the reserve. I was playing out on pitch, and then Fran, he wanted me in goal, so he gave me the opportunity to play for the first team a few games. And then last season, I was in goal, but it was when my confidence went, I got dropped to the reserve again. So it was quite a sticky season last season because of injury, because of all that sort of stuff. But I finally pulled through it and worked. So I've probably been about 3 seasons now, nearly. Okay.
And when you were playing before you arrived at Southampton, was that in the same division as the Southampton Women's Football Club, or was that a different division?
The Saints first team are in the same league now because we've been promoted. Okay, yeah. So we've just gone into their league and beat them 3-1. But I was playing for the reserve, as in reserve Southern League or Premier League. So you've got West Ham reserves, all them sort of teams. Okay. But they literally just shoved the reserve. They didn't really care about it in that team. So they literally just shoved us in there, and that's why I left, because they didn't care about us. It was all about the first team, and the first team never changed, and all the youngers never got opportunity. Like me, I never got the opportunity to play for the first team or even a couple of games. I think that's why I left, because it wasn't great there.
Right. And is that frustrating?
Yeah.
Is that frustrating as a player to not even be able to be given an opportunity?
Yeah, it's like, honestly, there was loads of younger players in the reserves for the Southampton Saints girls and ladies. There was loads of younger players, but their manager Adam, he never gave anyone chances to move up and like have opportunities. And he's only started doing that this season because all of his players are gone. Like all of his good players either go to Pompey or Murrayfield or some place like that, because they understand that no one actually had opportunities, so they're not gonna get any better because they're gonna keep the same players every single season. Obviously that was quite frustrating for me because I was never gonna get nowhere. I was just gonna stay at the same team, getting smashed each week.
Right.
But yeah, it was quite frustrating.
So when you decided to join Southampton Women's Football Club, were you willing to kind of go to the reserves and work your way up? Was there some sort of, did you see that there was an opportunity for you there, even though there wasn't?
When I first went to the Southampton Women's, you could see, like, it was just a place to enjoy. Like, if you understand, it wasn't, you could see that it was so different to Saints, because even though no one knew me, I was so welcome to the club, and then that's what made me, like, stay. Like, my first training session, I didn't even train, I watched. But everyone spoke to me like, "You're right, how you doing?" But everyone's so lovely there. There's no different groups, if you understand what I mean.
Absolutely.
Everyone will talk to everyone. There's not like something that a bitch about someone or stuff like that. It's nice to be there. And obviously, I started at reserves. I didn't mind being in reserves because the reserves, they did go downhill for a while. And obviously, we finished 8th, not last season, season before. And then last season, the reserves did amazing, 18 wins out of 18 games. Mm-hmm. I saw some people going up, and then Fran gave me an opportunity, and then now Simon gave me the opportunity to stay in the first team, and I respect like both of them for that, for doing that for me, because that's when I started getting like scouted, like somebody scouted me to go play in America. So I've been like, it's been alright.
Yeah,
it's been alright season for me. Towards the end of last season, like my confidence boosted so much, and I've been playing as well as I should.
Now, I wasn't planning on asking you this, but you know, when the scout comes and maybe looks at you for America, like, is that something you would want to do? Is move over here and play in the NWSL or something like that?
Well, I've got scouted last season, but I might look at it again for this year because it is something that I would like to do for either 2 years or 4 years. That's what you get offered.
Kind of where you are in your career, you know, you still have a lot of your career ahead of you. So taking an opportunity like that, maybe to move abroad and do that might be a real possibility for you. So I think that's pretty awesome. But like you said, it's a huge kind of commitment. But kind of going back to Southampton Women's this season, you were promoted last year. Whenever I think of a newly promoted team, I think you see in the Premier League this year the newly promoted teams are doing just fine. But oftentimes you see them kind of struggle. Were you at all worried that you would struggle a little bit when you got into the higher league?
Definitely. I think where I was at the Saints girls, I think where we got put in the Premier League already, I think I was kind of knew what was coming, but in a way I didn't. Obviously, we was all not worried about going in. We was all didn't know what to expect because where we haven't played the teams before, where we haven't really heard about the teams, we didn't know what to expect. But we went into each game. Well, we are going into each game as like a normal game. If we lose, we lose, but we're back next time and beat them. So it's been it's not been a struggle, but lately our games our first half ain't been great. Like we ain't been starting as the way we should be starting. We've been giving ourselves a bit of a scare some of the games, but other than that, I think we should just know what to expect really. Like,
are the players, you know, that much faster or anything else? Or maybe just a little bit better tactically, or what is there? I think
it's more technical. I think they have got some quick players, but obviously we've got Amy Barnett, which is at the back, and she is like a quick defender. So mm-hmm. I think that's what we need, like somebody that's quick at the back. Otherwise, if not, we're going to struggle because the strikers now, they know they're quick they're good with their feet, and obviously with Amy Barnett at the back, she's always caught up with them, and that's what you need on. You need a quick defender, or even all quick defenders. Most of them are, but I think that's what you need to stop them strikers.
Coming into this season, you talked about struggling a little bit before, but coming into the season, did you set any kind of personal goals for yourself before the season started?
My personal goal was probably just to stay fit, because obviously towards the end of last season and halfway through it, I had a back injury, and then the season before that, I had my thigh, and it's just like loads of things, and my ankle. So I do get injured quite quick, but literally just to stay fit and keep going. If something comes up, don't let my confidence go. Just keep pushing past it. Use my nerves into good nerves instead of bad nerves, and then not play, and then get myself annoyed, and literally just to stay fit through the rest of the season.
Your performances so far this year, like you said, you guys have been maybe not starting as well as you should. Yeah, the games have been close. They've been exciting for the most part, last minute, late winners and things like that. But how would you kind of rate your performance this year? Do you feel like you've improved from last year? Do you feel like you've grown maybe as a goalkeeper?
I've definitely improved from last season, because last season, where my confidence went, as I said, I wasn't coming off the line quick enough. I wasn't great at one-on-ones, but now I'm coming off the line. My one-on-ones got a little better. 2 games now I've made double saves, triple saves, whatever. So I can see a massive improvement in myself. Obviously, that's thanks to Mark and Lee for helping me, and Simon definitely for boosting my confidence and helping me through it. Giving me one-on-one, literally just telling me what I need to improve on it. I'll go out each training session and improve on that. So I think if it wasn't for the coaches, I wouldn't play as well as I could. Yeah. I feel I can play a lot better, but I need to improve on it. But yeah, no, my performances are a lot better than what they were 2 seasons ago or last season.
When you come off the pitch after a match, or even at halftime, who's the first person you go talk to?
I'd probably speak to Lee. Yeah, Lee, or one of the defenders, just to talk about what's going on. Say if we was either losing or if we're not playing great, I'll speak to him what do we need to do, and then I tell him my point of view, this, because obviously I can see the whole game. So I tell him, or I speak to a midfielder, we need to sort it out in the midfield. This is what we need to do. We need to follow this player, and I think I talk to everyone really. It's just the more person I would talk about if I had a bad game would be Lee, because obviously where he's a goalie coach and assistant manager, I would speak to him and he can tell me what I need to do and what I need to improve on to get the second half. You
mentioned earlier that your dad had started a team or a club or a team or whatever it's called, and that you went out and played, and it was originally I think for your brother, but you went out and played. When you made the transition to someone else coaching you, was that difficult for you, or did it not really have any impact on how you kind of approached training or matches or anything else?
Obviously, I played with boys since the age of 6, and the law was you have to leave by 13 if you weren't allowed to play with boys anymore. And obviously, when you've been playing with boys and when you was young, you didn't really see many girls playing. And then I thought, I don't want to go to a girls' team, obviously rubbish, blah, blah, blah. But clearly at the age, because I'm a girl myself, but that's what you just think, because I've been playing with boys for that long.
Right.
And then go to a girls' team. Obviously all my mates were girly girls, so I've never actually seen another girl play football at that age.
Okay.
And then when I moved to a girls' team at the age of 13 or 14, I thought, why do they even say that? Girls are a lot better than boys. The way I look at it, I think we're more technical, if you understand. We don't roll around on the floor and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, there was a tackle last week from the other team that got a yellow card, but it looked like, it was right in front of your camera. I don't know if you watched the YouTube kind of replay, but it's both feet off the ground. It was atrocious.
Yeah.
And credit to your teammate. I didn't catch who it was, but
Sophie.
Yeah. She grabbed her shin and then she got up and went on with her life. It was not like she still
she just smiled at it.
But like I saw that and it was like, oh man, that's a horror tackle, and not to bring the boys into it, but Dusan Tadic would still be rolling at this point. He'd be complaining about it. But when you're on the pitch and you are working through a match, like as a goalkeeper, which relationship, like with which other player or group of players is the most important relationship for you to have? Like who do you have to have an understanding of what they're going to do and where they're going to be the most in order to make you successful?
With goal kicks anyway, defender splits, all that. But normally, like, obviously there's Kirsty Whitten and Kirsty Bow in the middle, so I know how they both play. So if I play it to them, I trust them because I know they're good players and I can play it to them in the middle. In between two strikers, I can play it to them and then trust them with that ball and not be worried. So you need to trust your team, and you need to have good relationships with your team, because as a keeper, if your relationship ain't good with your teammates, especially your defenders, if your relationship ain't good, they're not going to listen to you as a goalie. That's when things go wrong. So you need to make sure you have good relationships with the defenders, every single player on that pitch, because they will listen to you. Right.
Okay. All right. Is there anything a non-goalkeeper might think about goalkeeping and think they understand? Like, is there an outfield player like that says I understand that, I know that, but what's something that they definitely don't know about goalkeeping, even though they think they do?
Well, most people think goalkeeping is easy, but it definitely isn't, because I don't know. They might think it's easy because they think all you do is catch a ball or dive or kick a ball, but it's so different to that, because you can see the whole pitch, and like, they need to understand, like, if it's 1-on-1, you need to know when to come out and get that ball. You need to know when to leave the goal. Your positioning needs to be perfect. And it's not all about catching the ball. It's not all about diving and all that stuff. It's all about thinking and knowing, like, when to leave the goal line, if I'm coming to claim that ball, you need to claim that ball. It's just not hesitation. Like last season, I was hesitating a lot, so that's when they were scoring. Mm-hmm. But you just need to, if you make a decision, you need to stick with it. And I think if somebody was going to go into goalkeeping, I think that's what they need to understand, is when and when not to.
Is that one of the hardest things about goalkeeping, or if not, what do you find to be the most difficult about the position?
Most difficult is probably getting to know when and when not to leave, really, because I used to struggle with that, and positioning is quite a main thing as well, because if your positioning is wrong, that causes them a goal. And if you're not great at your positioning, or if I leave the goal too early, they can either chip me, or if I leave it too late, they can take it around me. So it's just one of them decisions that you need to stick with. So I think that must be the hardest, is knowing when and when not to leave.
Now, as a goalkeeper, do you prefer the defenders to play a pretty high line so you can come out and kind of play with your feet, or would you prefer to kind of sit deeper and block shots? Or what's kind of if you could set up the team however you wanted, Simon and Lee not there, how would you do it?
I wouldn't know, really. It depends what team you're going to play. Like, if you know the team and they had good through balls and the strikers were fast, I'd probably play a deep, because that would then help you out a lot. Because if them strikers are quick, that's no good. So, but if the team hasn't got that through ball, or if their strikers are fairly quick, or even if they're slow, that's when you start playing a high line, depending on the ball, depending if they can kick the ball. But I normally, when I am in goal, when they kick it, I say to Kelly and Amy, like, drop on the kick, because you don't know what the kick is going to be like. So if we're playing a high line, I normally tell them, as soon as she hits that ball, drop on the kick, so then it gives yourself that extra yard to win that ball.
Okay.
So that's what I normally say to them.
When you look at goalkeeping, like you said before, people tend to think that it's just about catching a ball. It's just about blocking shots, and that is part of it. But for you, what's your favorite type of save to make? Is it during a one-on-one? Is it a penalty save? Is it pushing a free kick around the post? Or when you dream about making saves, what kind of saves do you dream about?
It'd probably be like, I've saved quite a few. There's been one, I think it was this Sunday, I think it was this Sunday. She crossed it in, and it was kind of like back post, so I dived and saved it, and this girl was literally on the 6-yard box, and I'll save it again. So they're probably the best saves that you can make is making a double save, and it makes you feel like, I know it sounds weird, but it makes you feel so good about making that save because knowing that you've kept that team in twice from making them saves. And another thing probably be one-on-one saves as well, because that's such a great thing for you to do, knowing that you can save a one-on-one, and that's probably the best saves you make is a double save and a one-on-one save.
When you make those saves, do you Joe Hart tends to yell at everyone when he does it, and a lot of goalkeepers jump up and they clap their hands, and I don't know if they're yelling at their defenders for making a mistake or if they're yelling out of excitement, but do you do that when you make a save like that?
Depends really. If the ball was let through easy and I've made a save, I probably will say we need to sort this out. I do get quite angry, but I try not to, because sometimes you can make that mistake, and then so you just need to think about how it's got through, or say if it's come from across, you can't really do nothing unless block it. But it depends how the ball got through. If the ball got through and they walked through it easy and I've made a save, that's what gets the keeper annoyed. But if every person on that pitch has worked their arse off and the ball has still come through, it's just a relief. So you don't really say much to them. We just need to come on, let's sort this out now. They shouldn't be getting through that easy, or let's try again, or something like that. It was just one of them.
All right. And I asked Kirsty this last time when I spoke with her. Given the climate of football and it being fairly male dominant, do you feel any pressure to be a role model to younger women, to kind of encourage them to play at all, being a footballer as you are?
Yeah, definitely. It would be nice to be a role model for younger people to play, because the more girls, even boys, the more people that get involved in sport is helping helping your health, and it's just nice seeing young people playing. The other day, I was working, and these two boys come in and were like, "You're the one that plays football, don't you?" I was like, "Yeah, how do you know?" So obviously they see my name somewhere, and that's nice knowing that my name's been put around for that sort of thing, and it's nice knowing that if somebody was playing football because of me, if you understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, it would be nice if it is nice if you are a role model to younger people, even older people. I could be a role model to an older person. It's just nice knowing that it gives me more confidence, and nice knowing that I have that support from younger people.
I have just a few kind of silly kind of questions. It's just a little bit more less serious maybe. But do you get nervous before a match?
Definitely.
And
I definitely get nervous before a game.
More so for a big match, like a derby, like when you played your former team. Did you get more nervous for that match than any other match? Yeah,
because I think I don't know why, because every match should be the same, but knowing that it's a derby match, and then the amount of people, obviously when we play Pompey, that's a massive derby match, and they're a league higher than us, or 2 leagues higher than us, so we're the underdogs, but you are going to get nervous for that sort of game because you want to win.
Yeah.
Basically. But no, nerves does sometimes trying to take over me through games. I don't want to play, not too nervous, or something like that. But you need to turn our nerves into good nerves. So I think that's what I'm learning to do now, because if I played them 2 seasons ago, I would oh no, I don't want to play, which is not good, but
right.
Now I've put them nerves into good nerves, and then it takes me out, and then I literally focus on the game, and you just got to take the nerves into good nerves, really, and play the best you can play.
Do you have one thing that you need to do before every match? Are you superstitious about that? Do you have you wear the same socks or anything like that?
Probably I have to listen to a certain type of music, but it's just so upbeat music. I have to listen to music before a game, and if I don't think I'd be up for it, and I have to stay at home. So if I stayed somewhere else, I don't feel that I'm ready for the game, if you understand.
Mm-hmm.
So every Saturday I have to stay at home, because if I don't feel like I'm ready for the game, and I'm not organised. But if I stay at home, I wake up at a certain time. I wake up, listen to music on the speaker, get ready, and then go.
So from the time you
that's my biggest one.
When you wake up on game day, from the time you wake up until the match, you're just focused on that?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Is there one opponent that sticks out in your mind, or maybe even a player on your team, as just far and above the best opponent you've ever played against?
Probably there's this girl called Samantha Quayle when we played against Pompey. She just was everywhere, and she is a quality player. Like, she plays for Wales and Pompey, so she is one of the players that you look and you're like, wow, she is a good player, because literally you see her and then she's gone and then she's got the ball and then she just knows how to finish, really.
Okay.
She's probably one of the main ones.
You said she plays for Wales as well.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have a particular career highlight, like one moment you look back on and say, like, that's it, that epitomizes kind of what I am and what I've done so far?
I'm not too sure, because I just look at every game. Every save I've made, I'll probably just look at that. I don't look at the actual games. I'll probably just look at the saves I've made. So when we played Swindon last season and played Southampton, I've come out with both clean sheets, and these teams are higher than us.
Okay.
So to come out of Swindon winning 2-0 and then coming out of Southampton winning 3-0, obviously that was probably the best career highlight, because I've kept clean sheets through them games.
Okay.
So that's probably the best. It's the best career highlights is when a goalkeeper keeps clean sheets, really.
Is that kind of what that's what you keep count of? Kind of is what you keep track of?
Yeah.
Looking at the goalkeeping situation for England, for the men,
yep.
Who should be the number one? Should it be Joe Hart? Should it be Jack Butland and Fraser Forster? Who do you think should be the number one for England?
I think it was Jordan Pickford that played the other day. I think he's such a quality player, and where he's still young. Like, he played against Germany the other day, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think he should be number one at the moment, because Joe Hart he went for a stage where he wasn't playing great. Fraser Forster, he shouldn't even play with England at the moment, because the way he's been playing isn't great. So, but Jack Butland and Jordan Pickford, I think they both should get opportunities to play for, be number one. I think it's out of them two at the moment.
All right. If you could tell Fraser Forster one thing, what would it be?
Sort of his handling now. He ain't doing great, is he? Reaction. He's slow.
You know, I've been a huge Fraser Forster kind of supporter for a very long time.
Yeah, same.
But same. It's getting harder and harder to do that.
He's so slow at reacting, and I think that's what we need to sort out.
One more question about goalkeepers. Who do you think right now is the best goalkeeper in the world?
Oh, that's a hard one. I don't know. I do like that Jordan Pickford. I think he stands out quite a lot for me.
All right.
Yeah,
I think.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think he is definitely. Yeah, I mean, he's got a different kind of set of skills. You know, when you talk about it's not just about shot stopping. He definitely has the other attributes.
His goal kick, he hits the person so accurate. Like, I don't know if you've seen it on Twitter, but he's kicked it from his hand and he's literally set up his goal basically.
Yeah.
He's just such a different goalie to other people.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely Jordan Pickford stands out worst.
All right. Well, I think that does it for me. You know, the next match is a cup match, but when is your next home match, if you know, and where can people find the team?
I'm not sure when the next home one is, but our girls at AFC Tottenham. There's on the website, it'll tell you when the next home match is. So if you were in Southampton Women,
okay,
SC, it'll come up with the next home game. But all of our home games are at AFC Tottenham.
All right, and I will put the links to the website and the Twitter account and Facebook and all that stuff, YouTube, in the show notes so people can find them. And they can find you on Twitter at PeakMillie1, correct?
Yep.
All right, and then of course the Southampton Women's Football Club is on Twitter at SOTON Women's FC. And the links to all those things are in the show notes once again. And Millie, I want to thank you so much for giving me your time. I know I've kept you.
Thank you so much.
Oh no, this has been great. And just thank you very much. And I wish you the best. And I hope that you continue to stay healthy and make saves and keep clean sheets and, yell at defenders and everything else.
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem. Have a good night.
And you. Thank you.
And that was my conversation with Millie Peak, the goalkeeper for the Southampton Women's Football Club. I hope that you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed hearing from her. If you would like to get more in touch with the Southampton Women's Football Club, you can follow them on Twitter at SOTON Women's FC. Or you can also find Millie on Twitter at PeakMillie1. Once again, like I said at the top of the show, if you are interested in helping with advertising or sponsorship of any of the players or coaches, or helping out at all with the Southampton Women's Football Club, contact their club secretary or visit their website. The links to all of those things are in the show notes. They also have a YouTube channel and a Facebook page, so follow along, get out to the ground and support them as they take on various opponents throughout the competitions they are in. Their games have been very exciting, as Millie and I discussed. Lots of late winners, lots of goals, something that we're not getting with the men's team, and hopefully that changes as we go forward and the men's team really turn it around. So that pretty much does it for this episode of the show. Like I said at the top, we'll be back next week with an episode focused on Saints like normal. I'll be talking with Jamie Grant of the Saints Report, so be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss that. If you're not subscribed to the show yet, you can do that on iTunes, Stitcher, Acast, Google Play, TuneIn Radio, or wherever else you get your podcasts to be sure that you don't miss an episode. If you're not sure how to do it, send me a message and I'd be glad to help. You can always get in touch with us on Twitter at SFCDELL_IVERY, or on Facebook at facebook.com/SFCDelivery. There is no underscore in the Facebook address. You can also send us an email at southamptondelivery@gmail.com, or leave us a review on iTunes or wherever else that you get your podcasts. All of those things are very much appreciated. Please continue to send in your questions. Please continue to share the show. That really does help. So, that pretty much does it for this week. And until next time, remember that together we march on.